Welcome everybody to today's webinar. Jimmy J is here, and today we're going to be talking about the rejection-free and fun way to attract targeted leads and recruit them into your business. And I'm going to show you how to do it without being pushy, salesy, or chasing people. As you're coming onto the line here, just let me know what industry you're in. So most likely everybody in online here is in some sort of network marketing or direct sales company. But if you're in a travel MLM company, type in the number 1. So if you're in World Ventures or Paycation or anything like that, go ahead and type in the number 1. If you're in a health company or a fitness or a weight loss company, go ahead and type in a 2. So if you have weight loss shakes or wraps, if you're in isogenics or Herbalife, or if you are in any company that deals with helping people just look and feel better, go ahead and type in a number 2. If what you do is financial education, if you are in World Financial Group, if you are in Primerica or any type of company where what you're helping people do is help them out with their finances, go ahead and type in a 3. And if none of those really hit the bill, go ahead and type in the number 4. So give me an idea where we're at here. And I'm going to turn this off so we can go into slides. All right, so Anne-Marie is affiliate marketing. Paula says 1. For fitness and health, we've got Julie. We've got Julia. Financial education, we've got quite a few on the line. So Ninkima, Devin, Sadek, we've got Romancino, we've got Mark, we've got Mr. Kyle McNeil, my buddy. Good to see you, Kyle. Aisha, awesome. So if you're a 4 and none of those really fit the bill, just go ahead in the chat box and let me know what it is that you do, what type of industry you are in. And I'll try my best to really personalize this here for you today and give some examples based on your industry. So again, we're talking today about the rejection-free and fun way to attract targeted leads and recruit them into your business, and how to do it in a way where you're not being pushy, salesy, or chasing people. And I'm going to give you an example of this by showing you how David attracted 372 targeted leads in just 36 days, all while doing something that he loves. So he took his group from 0 up to 372 members in just about a month. And I'm also going to show you how I recruited 25 people in 21 days using what I call the Meetup launch method. So in case we haven't met yet, Jimmy J is here. I'm known as the highest paid Meetup organizer and consultant, exclusively servicing the MLM industry. I've done $12 million in MLM sales, $5.5 million in commissions have been paid out to people inside of my team as a result of that. And I'm the creator of Meetup Marketer, which is the A to Z guide to recruiting for Meetup by becoming the local trusted authority. And for the past 11 years, I've been using Meetup to meet my perfect prospect, and today I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing. So here's what you're going to learn by sticking around today. Let me know in the chat box here to make sure that you can see the slides. So I had one person say they couldn't. So as long as you can see words, you should say, here's what you're going to learn on the presentation. Let me know you can see that. Awesome. So what you're going to learn today by sticking around is how to tap into an existing database of prospects on meetup.com who already want what you sell. And I'm going to show you how I do it for free. I'm going to show you the rejection-free way to get leads for your business. I'm going to show you how to become a celebrity authority so that you have prospects chasing you rather than you chasing prospects. And lastly, I'm going to show you a simple method for you to go ahead and get 50,000 prospects for you and your team in 2017. So what I want to know in the chat box here, I said we're going to be interactive today. So if I can show you a rejection-free way to get leads, are you ready to stick till the end of the webinar? And are you ready to participate, right? Not just listen, but to answer questions and to be online with me. Type in a 5 in the chat box if you're ready to do that. All right. Devin says 5 also with 5 exclamation points. Awesome. And if I can show you, I know it's a big promise, but if I can show you a reasonable way that you could very simply get 50,000 prospects for you and your team in 2017, like I said, I know it's a big promise, but if I can follow through on that, are you ready not only to stick till the end of the webinar, not only participate, but are you ready to protect the environment? Meaning, are you ready to do whatever you need to do to like change rooms if you need to, like log out of Facebook, hand the crying baby off to somebody else, tell your boss that you're taking an extended lunch, whatever you need to do. Are you ready to be all the way with me here? If I can follow through that on the promise. Give me a yes, a no, or a heck yes in the chat box. Devin says yes. Paula says yes. Anne Marie's yes. Heck yes from Freddie. Awesome, Freddie. Hey yes from Rhoda. Heck yes. I'm in from Mark. All caps. Awesome. Cool. So why is this important to you right now? Well, most of what you and I have learned about prospecting and recruiting, unfortunately, is dead wrong. And right now, there are more MLM companies and more reps than there have ever been before in the history of MLM. And they're all fighting for the attention of the same prospect. So it's important for you to find a way to stand out from the crowd. And social media has made it easy for prospects to find and join the online gurus who have big online marketing budgets rather than joining you, right? People who are spending thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars a month on Facebook ads. So is this for you? Well, if you've been calling the same people over and over for months and months, or even for years, then this training is for you. If you want to be the local trusted authority and consistently recruit new reps, then this is for you. If your downline is wondering why you don't have more guests at events or why you're not recruiting more people, and you want a predictable stream of prospects so that you can recruit more and lead by example, then this is for you. And if you've been taught to talk to the person behind you at the grocery store or to Facebook spam people, and what you'd really like to do is to add value to your prospects and build authority with them so that they're chasing you, then you're going to love this. And if you've ever wondered, is this person screening my calls, right? Is my friend sending me to voicemail because they don't want another MLM pitch? Well, this is for you because you're going to discover a method that will allow you to only call people who have already requested your help. So a couple house rules before we get rolling. The first one is no get rich quickers. So if what you promote or if what you're expecting from this webinar is something that's like, hey, here's a way that you can make $1 million and not put any work in, log off the line. It's not for you. You're going to be disappointed. Number two, no takers. So if your mindset or if your mentality around business is like, what's the least amount that I can do? Like it's all about me, right? Like I need more customers. I need more business partners. How do I? And you're not really concerned or worried about serving and adding value to your prospects and to your customers and your business partners. Then first of all, I don't want to teach you. So get off the line. Second of all, even if I do teach you, it's not going to matter because everything I'm going to show you about Meetup today will not work unless you're willing to add value first, unless you're willing to be a go-giver. Thirdly, no jumpers. So if you think that the solution to your business problems is just to quit and join a new company, and that's become a habit or a pattern for you, then this will not help you. What we're going to be talking about today is specifically about how do you change the root problem? And the root problem is not getting in front of enough qualified prospects. So we're going to talk about today how to literally do something one time that can build you a funnel where that will bring you qualified prospects on an ongoing basis. So it's not for jumpers. It's for somebody who's ready to plant their flag in the ground and to consistently bring new people to the table. And lastly, my results are not even remotely typical. All right, so I told you a little bit of some of the numbers before. I think I mentioned we did $11 million in sales. That was from literally me, and I think I recruited 35 people over the course of like 4 years. It was 25 people that I originally started with, and that group turned into over 6,000 business partners and over 35,000 customers. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is how to get leverage so that you can do something similar to that. At the same time, my results are not even remotely typical. So that's the disclaimer. And most people who buy any how to make money training will not make any money whatsoever. For the same reason I believe that most people who buy treadmills don't lose any weight. Okay, and it's not the treadmill's fault. It's because you have to put in the work. And lastly, a quick confession. Every one of the examples from today came from cities with at least 60,000 people in them. So will Meetup work in smaller cities? Absolutely. However, all of the examples from today came from cities with at least 60,000 people in them. So if you live in a city smaller than that, or if you're not within distance where you could be hosting events in a city of that size, then you can expect different numbers than what I'm going to share with you today. So here is the really quick version of network marketing or business. Most of us get started in business and we've got this top of the mountain goal. And the goal sounds something like, if I could make blank number of dollars per month, that would allow me to blank. So if I could X, that would allow me to Y. If I could make $5,000 a month, I could retire my wife. If I could make $10,000 a month, I could retire, my parents, and I could travel around the world. If I could make $500 a month, then I wouldn't have to be worried about bills anymore. Okay, so what I want you to do is in the chat box, let me know what's your top of the mountain goal. When you first started network marketing, and it wants to follow the formula, if I could make X number per month, that would allow me to Y. And that might be the goal that you first created when you first got started, or it might be the current goal that you're working on. But what's that top of the mountain goal of where you'd like to get to? Let me know in the chat box. If I could make X number per month, that would allow me to Y. Give you a second to type it in here. Julie says 10,000 a month would allow me to breathe easier. Mark says 10,000 a month. Let me know what that would allow you to do, Mark. 5,000 a month will allow me to save and start to build wealth and travel and support my mom, from Aisha. Fantastic. 10 grand a month would allow me to have financial freedom, from Anne Marie. Awesome. What does financial freedom mean to you? So let me know in the chat box, Anne Marie, what specifically what would be different about your life if you had that 10,000 a month right now? Devin says, if I can make 10 grand a month, that would allow me to invest in real estate and create an investment portfolio for my future. Awesome. Static, 10 grand a month. 30,000 a month for financial freedom, from Barbara. Awesome. So again, let me know, what does financial freedom mean to you? Because that means something different to a lot of people. Some people might say financial freedom just means that I don't have to work. Some people might say financial freedom means that I've got generational wealth. So whatever that is for you, go ahead and let me know in there. 10 grand a month, 5 grand a month, allow me to retire my husband, travel worldwide, and build our business full time. Awesome. That's a very specific answer. I love it, Paula. That would allow me to relax, help my mom, and travel, from Mark. Cool. Sorry if I don't get to all of them here. There's a lot in here. 10K a month is enough for retirement, pay off my debts, and invest in my future. No worries, travel, and create generational wealth. Awesome. Financial freedom means that I am self-financed, and it means generational wealth to me and never having to worry about money again. Okay, cool. So we have this top of the mountain goal, and we start on our journey to the top of the mountain. And when we first get started in business, we have our little backpack of supplies. And in network marketing, your supplies, your inventory, is not your product, it's people. If you don't have people, you are out of business. If you don't have prospects to talk to, you are out of business. And so we're all, going on this journey to the top of the mountain. And unfortunately for most of us, somewhere along the line, as we're going to the top of the mountain, we run out of names on our names list, meaning that the number of people that we knew when we first got started in business, there's not enough people on that list to get us to that $10,000 a month mark, or the $30,000 a month mark, or whatever it is that your goal is. And when we get to that point in the mountain where we run out of names, we don't know what to do, right? And so usually there's three different reactions, or three different types of people when they're going up the side of the mountain. The first one is who I call the quitter. And the quitter gets somewhere along the side of the mountain. Sometimes it's halfway up, and sometimes it's 4 phone calls in. And they say, I ran out of names, and this is harder than I thought, and they quit. The second type of person is what I call the settler. And the settler doesn't quit. They, they're somewhere halfway up the mountain. They run out of names on their names list, and they don't quit the business. They still use the product. They still go to company events. They're still in, but they've settled. And what they've quit on is that top of the mountain goal. And they said, you know what? I'm just going to settle with $1,000 a month, or I'm going to settle with $500 a month, or I'm going to settle with $10,000 a month. But it's not that goal that they originally set out to hit. And the third type of person is the one who keeps moving forward. He's the person who says, you know what? I'm going to find a way to get to the top no matter what. I'm going to find a way to get to that goal that I originally started with. And so those are the three types of network marketers that are out there. And so I've got a couple questions for you. All right. The first question I have for you, I'm going to do this as a poll, is how many friends are on your names list right now? So on pen and paper, how many names and phone numbers do you have right now on your names list? So go ahead and click an answer to this poll. And this is your list that you've physically written out with names and numbers of people that you would consider friends. Let me know in the chat box, or let me know in the poll question here. So far, we're at 7% don't have one on paper, 36% are 1 to 100, 31 is 100 to 300, 13% is 300 plus, and 6% is 1,000 plus. So let me share that with you. If you're somebody on the line who's got that 1,000 plus or 300 plus, actually specifically if you're the 1,000 plus, I'd love to know in the chat box what it is that you do, how you created that list. The second question that I have for you is how many new people do you add to your list every month? So how many new qualified leads do you add every single month? Is it 0 to 10? Is it 11 to 30, 30 to 100, 100 to 500, or 500 plus? So again, let me know how many new qualified leads are you adding to your list every single month. While that's coming in, there's some more comments here that I didn't have a chance to read. Financial freedom means generational wealth and never having to worry about money again. If I could make $10K a month, it would allow me to contribute to my family financially, help my mom and dad with medical needs, to be able to start real estate investing and build additional revenue streams. It would mean residual income. Financial freedom will allow us to give back, invest, and live like we've always dreamed of. All right, I'm going to give you another 5 seconds here to go ahead and answer in. A couple people wrote in the chat box. So let's see. So here we go. So we had 81% of people are adding 0 to 10 people to their names list every month. 6% are 11 to 30, and 13% are doing 31 people plus. Okay, so regardless of the size of your list, if you're not adding new people to it, then and you're prospecting, then your list is getting smaller every month, not bigger every month. And the problem with your list getting smaller every month is it creates a scarcity mentality, right? You feel like your business isn't moving forward. You feel like it's just a matter of time before you run out of names. If you're in a position where you're getting more people that are coming to you every month than what you can even talk to, now you have an abundance mentality. Now it's not about, how can you convince people to say yes. Now it's about sorting and just deciding who you want to spend your time with. Okay, so those are the three types of network marketers. We got the quitter. Let me bring it up for you. We've got the quitter, we've got the settler, and we've got the person who keeps moving forward. And why is such a small number of people, keep moving forward? And if you're one of the person who's, in the keep moving forward quadrant, then the question isn't, what do I do to keep myself moving forward? It's how do I keep my team moving forward, right? If you're tired of having a revolving door of people that are joining you and quitting, you need to find a way to meet more people that aren't quitters and that aren't settlers. And specifically, you need to show people a way that they can be able to refill their names list. So why do so many people quit and why do so many people settle? Well, it's not a lot of fun just calling the same names over and over and over again, which is what most network marketers do. It's not fun buying leads or Facebook spamming people. Paid advertising can be expensive, and it's not a lot of fun prospecting strangers, right? Talking to the person behind you at the grocery store and just talking to random people. And so before Meetup, my story was I went out there, I made my list, gotten and started network marketing. I went out and actually was lucky enough to enroll 5 people. Then my upline quit, and then all 5 of my downline quit. So that was kind of unexpected because they didn't really show that in the presentation that people quit. So I was not really expecting that. And I created my first meetup group literally just to meet like-minded people. I created a cash flow club so I could meet people who had read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, because all my friends thought I was crazy, right? They all had that mindset of being an employee and they thought I was nuts. And so I just wanted to meet people that would be my age that would think like entrepreneurs. And from there, I continued to just follow what I was taught in the company, right? And so I started to call my extended warm market, right? People that maybe they knew my name, but it wasn't normal for us to talk on a regular basis. So I just called them out of the blue. I started using the 3-foot rule, where I would just talk to random people, behind me at the grocery store or the cab driver or whatever. I would go to company events and I'd be like super excited, right? I'd set a goal. I'd say, here's the rank that I'm going to hit. And then I would get home and I'd be by myself and I would just stare at the same old names list with a bunch of names of prospects who had already said no to me, whose names were crossed out. And I was like, how am I going to hit this goal, right? With this list. And I ended up calling the same person for 5 freaking years. And actually, a couple people on the line might even know who that person is. His name is Matthew Smith. Bless his heart, he kept answering the phone. But I called the same person for 5 freaking years because I didn't know what to do to meet new people. And eventually, I quit the company I was in. I thought, you know what? Network marketing is great, but I'm just not great at it. So I need to do something different. And I ended up starting with a second company. And in that company, I did something new. And what I did was I did my first launch using my Meetup group. I called all of the people that I had met through my Meetup group, and I ended up enrolling 25 people in 21 days. And after that, you might say, well, that was, where your story takes off from. Well, actually, it's not the case. Well, I ended up going back to the old way of doing things, and I actually was convinced by my upline to give away my Meetup group. He said, that's not duplicatable. You need to do the old-fashioned way of, talking to the person behind you at the grocery store. And so I went back to the old way of doing things, and I went back to getting the horrible results that I had gotten before. And so the bottom for me was I'd quit MLM for the second time. I was living in a basement suite. I had a 6-month-old and was faced with the reality that either my wife or myself or both was going to have to go back to full-time work. We were probably 30 grand in credit card debt. And it just was not a great time in my life. And I decided to give it one more shot inside of network marketing. And my turning point was when I was a part of a company mastermind where we would all give our numbers. We'd say, hey, here's how many people that I added to my list, and here's how many people we talked to. And what I realized was I was working way less than everyone else, right? I was talking to less people. I was getting in front of less people. But I was outperforming them like crazy. And by working way less, I was actually getting in front of more people than they were, but I was doing it in just 2 hours a month. I would host one event and I would get in front of more targeted leads in that 2 hours than what they were getting in front of working like all day, 30 days a month. And the turning point for me really was when I helped somebody else build a Meetup group, and I realized that I could teach others how to recreate what I had built. I realized that this could scale and this could be duplicatable. And so this is what I call the recruiting quadrant, all right? And when you're recruiting for whatever type of business you're in, there's really only 2 metrics, okay? One of them is that you're either recruiting one-to-one or you're recruiting one-to-many, meaning that you're either talking to people and recruiting by in person or on the phone. It doesn't matter the medium that you use. You're either doing it one person at a time or you're doing one-to-many. Right? So one-to-one might be like a sales call. One-to-many is like a webinar, like what you're on today, right? I'm in front of a bunch of people all at once. The second quadrant, the second axis, is that you're either taking what's called the chasing positioning, or you're taking what's called the trusted authority positioning, meaning that either prospects are chasing you or you're chasing prospects. There cannot be any other way. So those are the only 2 axes there are. So in the chasing people one at a time, we've got the grind. We've got one-to-many chasing is called the vendor quadrant. One-to-one authority is called busy professional, and one-to-many authority is called the star quadrant. Okay, so those are the 4 different quadrants. And the funny thing is, of all the different books and the trainings and everything out there about how to grow your business, 99% of them are all just different ways of doing the same thing, different ways of chasing people and chasing people one at a time. Things like Facebook messaging strangers, things like buying leads, things like the 3-foot rule, right? Or doing sales calls. And it's all about how can I get better at sales calls, or how can I get better at the 3-foot rule, right? Or how can I buy better leads? And so, it's really just this, just the same thing, or just a whole bunch of the same thing. And I've nicknamed this the desperation quadrant because prospects look at you like you're desperate. The next one's called the vendor quadrant, and this is where you're getting some leverage. So maybe instead of spamming individuals, now you're spamming Facebook groups. So it's still chasing people, but at least you're getting leverage. At least you're getting in front of groups of people rather than individuals. If you go to networking events, or maybe if you go to meetup groups, right? You're getting in front of groups of people all at once. If you did a trade show where you paid for a booth and you plopped your booth in front of a whole bunch of people, now you're getting that one-to-many leverage. And literally, if you can get good in the vendor quadrant, you will meet more prospects in 1 hour than most people meet in an entire month. All right. Unfortunately, you're still having that chasing positioning. People look at you as just another salesperson. So it's leverage sales. You're going to make more money, but you're always chasing people. You spend a lot of time following up because you have usually it's a lower closing rate, and you end up losing confidence because it's not a lot of fun hearing no all the time. The next one's called busy professional, and this would be like if you got a great referral, right? So imagine you get a text message that says, hey, Sally told me that you helped her with investing, and now she's got an extra $10,000 saved up. Can you help me do the same thing? Or, hey, Bob told me that you helped him lose 10 pounds. Can you hook me up too? Where do I go to sign up? Right? So you're not chasing them, they are chasing you. If you go to a BNI group, that's a great place where you could get a whole bunch of referrals. If you did a 3-way call, so if you're the upline and somebody in your downline, edifies you, they bring a prospect onto the line and they build you up properly, right? The prospect's going to respect you more. You're going to get a way higher closing rate. It's going to be a lot more fun for you, and you're going to make more money than you would in the grind. Unfortunately, you still have that one-to-one positioning. You have no leverage, which means it's going to take a heck of a lot of time. So you're probably always going to be on the phone. In fact, on a 3-way call, you have negative leverage, right? It's 2 business owners for every 1 prospect. So I've nicknamed this important but not free because, you feel like the man or you feel like the woman and feel great, but you're just not getting in front of enough people to be able to have the impact that that you can have. And you can't be selective, right? If you're talking to people one at a time, you just don't have enough prospects in order to be able to choose who you want to work with. And if you're relying on 3-way calls or other things that are out of your control, now you're held hostage by your team, and your rank has nothing to do with you. It's just, you have to hope that your team goes out and does some work. The last one is called the star quadrant, and this is really where everyone should want to be. This is the gold standard. This would be like if you wrote a best-selling book, right? As soon as you're a best-selling author, right, you're a trusted authority. People are coming to you, and you can literally have thousands of people reading your book all at once. You don't have to do sales calls one at a time. It could be things like Facebook ads. If you know how to do Facebook ads properly, you can have that trusted authority status, and you can get in front of groups of people all at once. If you host events and you're speaking on stage, right, at an event that you run, same thing. You can get in front of a lot of people, and you can have that trusted authority status. So go ahead and let me know here, which quadrant do you operate mostly from? So you might be in a couple of them, but where were you taught to spend your time, or which quadrant do you spend most of your time in? Go ahead and let me know. So sorry, we've got some grind, we've got some vendor. I'll give you another 30 seconds. For those of you who've already voted, if you said that you are in the grind, go ahead and let me know what's the disadvantage of the grind quadrant. So just let me know in your words in the chat box. So we've got 86% of people said that they are in the grind. 10% said vendor quadrant. 5% said busy professional. and 0% in the star quadrant. Okay, cool. So what are the disadvantages? Well, disadvantages are, from Devin, I come off as desperate. Yeah, that totally sucks. Even if you're not desperate, if people perceive you like you are, then they're going to treat you like you're desperate, right? Which means that they're going to reschedule their appointments with you and maybe not even call you to tell you they're rescheduling. So coming off as desperate totally sucks. Freddie says little to no results. Absolutely. Paula says the grind is discouraging, difficult, frustrating, not seeing the results that I want. Absolutely agree. Not a great rate of return. Barbara, I love the language you're using, Barbara. That means you're thinking like an entrepreneur and an investor. You grind to a halt because it sucks. I see what you did there, Mark. I like it. Chasing prospects from Ramosita. One at a time interaction. And the problem with one at a time interaction is how much time that it takes, right? If it takes you an hour to sort through prospects and you want to sort through 1,000 prospects, that's going to take you 1,000 hours. It is expensive to be in the grind. Yeah, it's absolutely expensive to be in the grind. Say more about that, Paul. I'd love to know what you mean by it is expensive to be in the grind. I agree, but I'd love to know what you mean by that. So what I'm going to share with you today is what I believe is the absolute easiest way for you to break in to the star quadrant. The easiest first step, if you're not ready to write a best-selling book, or if you don't have tens of thousands of dollars a month for Facebook ads. I think my ad spend right now is about $7,000 a month, and that's a really low Facebook ad spend. So when it comes to most people who are running ads. So if you're not ready to do those things yet, the absolute easiest way for you to get into the star quadrant is by becoming a meetup organizer. Now, as a meetup organizer, you're not going to have the same world-renowned name that you might have if you wrote a best-selling book. All right, but everything that I'm going to show you today, if you do it properly, you will absolutely become a local authority, a local celebrity in your city. And everything I'm going to show you today, you're not going to need $7,000 a month in order to be able to do it. And I'm going to show you how to do this in as little as 3 hours per month. So that's what we're going to be talking about, is how to become a meetup organizer. And if you want prospects chasing you and you want people in groups, here's what you need to know. You need to know who you want to attract. You need to know where you're going to find them. You need to know what's the bait. What am I going to use for bait to attract people? And you need to know what is the result that you want to get people. And everyone who's in network marketing has two different results. One is the result of your product or service, and one is the result of your opportunity, meaning that you can help people make more money. Okay, so that is what you need. And I'm going to walk you through how to do that with Meetup. So what I want to do quickly is one more poll, and I want to know how many distributors did you personally enroll last year? So in the last 12 months, how many distributors did you personally enroll? Not your team size, just how many did you personally enroll in the last year? And if you've been in for 6 months, then just double that number to make it your yearly number. So I'll give you a second to do that. All right, so 81% are 0 to 10. We've got 19% at 11 to 30. What'd be really cool is if we could see how many people you enrolled based on what quadrant that you've been taught to operate in, right? So let's talk about getting you into a new quadrant so that we can help you recruit a heck of a lot more people. So give me your number in the chat box right now. So there isn't a poll for this. Just give me a number in the chat box of how many people would you personally like to enroll in the next 12 months. So in the next 12 months, what's your number? How many, you've got, I know what you did last year. What reasonably would you like to do this year? Give me the number that you believe is possible for you to enroll this year. Go ahead and just type a number into the chat box. For the next 12 months. So Barbara says 15. I'd like to enroll 10 to 20 from Aisha, 1,000 from Anne Marie, 60 from Paula, 10 from Freddie, 20 from Nika Mina, 120 from Mark, 50 from Dominic, 40 strong affiliates from Devin. I love the distinction there, Devin. 20 from Tracy, 48 from Julie, 100 from Sadek, and 50 from Julia. Okay, cool. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a little bit of self-inventory, okay? And what I want you to think about here is a lot of times we hear about just setting these high goals, which is great. But unless you have a clear path to get there, then a big goal does nothing but discourage you. You just set one big goal after another big goal after another big goal, and you miss goal after goal after goal after goal. And you're like, well, man, somebody else said that they just wrote it on a vision board somewhere, and all of a sudden it came true. You need to have a plan of how the heck you're going to get there. So if you're going to 10x the number of people, then you're going to have to do 10x the work, right? If you're going to enroll 500 times as many people, then you're going to have to 500 times the amount of work that you put in, unless you can find a way to get leverage. So let's talk about leverage, and let's talk about recruiting with authority, because it's a totally different ballgame when you learn how to do that. And for those of you who don't know yet, what the heck is meetup.com? Well, meetup.com is a social media platform that's dedicated to helping you meet new friends and do more of what you love. So think about like Facebook, but the goal of it is for you to meet people online and then take it offline to meet new friends and do more of what you love. And to be clear, because some people have asked me in the past, I don't own Meetup. I didn't create it. It's not my platform. All right. What I'm great at is using meetup.com to help you grow your business. All right. How to use it to find qualified leads for you. And Meetup's been around for 11 years now, and they've really started growing like crazy over the last couple of years. So as Airbnb and Uber and companies like this become more and more popular, where it's more and more normal for you to have just regular interactions with strangers, meetup.com is going crazy right now as a result of that. So it's a really great time for you to be on Meetup and using it. So here's how it works. There's two different ways you can participate in Meetup. All right. The first way is you can become a Meetup member. Now, as a member, you join for free, just like a Facebook profile. And when you join Meetup, the unique thing is you tell Meetup what topics you're interested in. So you might say, I'm interested in losing weight, or I'm interested in learning about marketing, or starting a business, or making more money, or going for dog walks. Literally, there's Meetup groups for everything. And then Meetup is going to link you up with other organizers who have Meetup groups that are doing activities that you might enjoy. So if you say, hey, I really I'm into weight loss, Meetup's going to send you an email that says, hey, here's a group, and they're all going to go for a jog. Maybe you should join them. Okay. So that is the first way to use Meetup, and it is free to do. The second way to use Meetup is by becoming a Meetup organizer. All right. As an organizer, it costs you $20 a month, and you pay that directly to Meetup. And that $20 a month allows you to host your own Meetup group. And this is what we're going to talk about today, is how to be a Meetup organizer. Because as an organizer, if you want to go to the star quadrant, you need to be an organizer. You need to have people chasing you. So for anybody who's familiar with the show The Bachelor or The Bachelorette on television, the concept of the show, right, is one season, there's one girl and there's 30 guys, right? And the girl decides who stays, who goes home, which guy she likes, which one she doesn't. And one at a time, she tells them, yeah, you should go home because I'm not interested in you. And at the end of it, she chooses the person that hopefully she gets married to. On the next season, the very next episode that they do, or the next year, they flip it around, and now there's one guy and 30 girls. Okay, so if you're going to be on the show, which season would you like to be on? Would you like to be the one girl who decides who stays and who goes, and you get all the decision, you have all the power? Or would you like to be on the next season where you're one of 30 people that are all fighting for the attention of one guy, right? So that's the difference of authority positioning. If you go to other people's meetups as a member, there's going to be, one organizer, and that person has all the power. They decide what you do, who stays, who goes. They get everybody's contact info, and they're the man or they're the woman. If you are the organizer, then you have that control. Plus, you get to decide when the events are, how many you do, what the date is, when the time is, so you can work it all around your schedule. You can even tell Meetup, hey, I only want to allow up to 20 people to come, and after that, don't allow any more. Or you can make it unlimited. So as an organizer, you create that authority positioning. So what I'm going to show you today is how to do that, and I'm going to show you how to create your Meetup funnel. So your funnel is your Meetup group. It is value events, and then it is some segmentation, where you're finding out what information people are interested in. And Meetup and Google are going to dump people into the top of this funnel for you. And out of the bottom is going to be your perfect prospect. So your group is like where you're going to meet people. The value events is like the bait that's going to attract people to your group. So if you already have a group and you don't have as many members joining your group every month that you want, or if you don't have enough people RSVPing for your events, it's because your value events aren't actually value events. You're not mastering the bait section. Okay, so what you're doing is you're probably selling right at your events, and rather than having value events where you're just 100% giving. And then the last step is the information, and this is the result that your prospects want. And I'm going to show you how to craft something like this. And if you do this part properly, you will literally eliminate 100% of rejection. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do. And the idea here is that on your way to the top of the mountain, rather than trying to go from 0 to the top of the mountain with your existing names list, right? And rather than talking to, strangers on the street, or rather than buying leads or doing any of that stuff, the goal is, what if we could just create a base camp where a little ways up the mountain, you could restock your supplies. What if in 6 months from now, you had a brand new list of 600 brand new leads that you could talk to? Right? What if 6 months from then or 3 months from then, you had another 300 leads or 1,000 leads, right? And all the way up the mountain, you would have these little base camps where you could stop and refill a whole new list of prospects that were eager to hear what you do. So let me know how you like this idea so far, how you're feeling about creating this funnel one time so that you can have prospects coming to you on an ongoing basis, and you don't ever have to worry about running out of names on your list. Literally, the only thing that's going to determine your rank is how much work you're willing to put in. So let me know if you like it, love it, or hate it. Go ahead and let me know in the chat box. Cool from Julie, love it from Barbara, let's do it from Dominic, excited from Aisha, like it from Mark, sounds great, love it, all caps, love it from Freddie. Cool. So let's build your funnel, okay? Here's some examples. This one's called Edmonton Single Travelers. It's got, actually now, as of today, it's got over 4,300 members in it. The time of the image there, it had 3,800. This one's called Stay Active, Work Out, and Have Fun in Calgary, and it's got 2,000 fitness junkies. This is a group of mine. It's called Edmonton Cash Flow Club, and it's got 566 members in it. So it's a smaller group, but every single person in this group has read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and all of them want to create passive income, whether it's through real estate or the stock market or through a business. Usually they're not sure which one of those they want to do. This one is called 20 to 40s Living Fearlessly. It's a personal development group. There is 700 people in that. And this one's called Young, Fun, and Professional. At the time of this image, it was 775 young pros. And the case study we're going to use today is how David went from 0 up to 372 prospects in just 36 days using his group called Get Fit, Mind, Body, and Soul. And his group is in Ottawa. So he has 372 members that joined his group in his first 36 days. So here's the big picture version of how that happened. Okay, so we spent some time preparing his group. Then from there, we went on meetup.com and we actually created his group. And then we had prospects that joined the group. Now, the prospects that joined his group, he didn't have to find. These came from 3 places: Meetup's existing database of people, Meetup search, and Google search. Those are the 3 places that it came from. And the biggest leverage point, literally in my first group that I created, it took me 3 to 4 years to get up to 300 members. David got to 300 members in just 1 month because we mastered what's called the Meetup kickoff email. All right. And so I told you before, when you join Meetup, Meetup asks you what type of topics are you interested in, right? So they have that information about everyone. So here's what that means to you. That means right now in your city, there are people that are on Meetup that have said, hey, I'm interested in travel. Let me know the next time there is some opportunities to travel. Or, hey, I'm interested in marketing or making more money or starting a business. Let me know the next time something like that comes up. And they're literally waiting for you to create your Meetup group so that Meetup can email them about it and invite them to one of your events. All right. So that's the biggest leverage point, is that Meetup kickoff email. And that's why it's important that we did the prepare work first, because usually it's somewhere between actually the 1 to 4 day mark when they send that kickoff email out, okay? And if everything's not right in there, you don't get a second chance at it. The next part was we did some value events, and this is where we actually hosted some events, and these aren't a lot of work. They're not that big of a deal. I'm going to show you some easy ways to do them, but this is where we added value to our prospects, and essentially we took them from being strangers to being friends, and once they're friends, then we take them from friends to introducing them to your business, and that's kind of the process that you want to go through. And then lastly, we had what's called an interest form, and so at our event, we had people actually fill out a form where we ask them what types of things are they interested in and what things are they not interested in, so that we can only contact them about stuff they're actually into, okay? So that is how it works. And if you're taking notes, here's the 5 steps, okay? Number 1 is prepare. Number 2 is create. Number 3 is grow. So we want to grow the size of your group to at least 300 members and to at least 20 people attending your event on an ongoing basis. Until you are consistently getting 20 people attending and 300 people in your holding tank, it's not really a great place to recruit from. So we want to get you to 300 as quickly as possible. Number 4 is profit. And this is not profiting from your network marketing company. This is finding little ways to get people to pay you, because you just want them to be trained to pay you. You don't want to train people that everything's free. You want to train them to pay you. So just $5 here, $10 there. If you do that, it's an extra income stream for you, but more importantly, it's training people to buy. If you're used to talking to friends and family and you're saying, hey, spend $1,000 on my business package or spend $100 on my business package, that might fly, right? But if you're talking to your cab driver or your Uber driver or the person behind you at Walmart, it's a pretty big stretch to go from not knowing them to them giving you their credit card information and them spending, a couple $100 with you. So if you can help them spend $5 with you or $10, heck, if they spend $1 with you, literally, as long as they've given you their credit card number, the chances of them buying from you again go up dramatically. And lastly is called recruit. And this is where you're actually going to invite them to become a customer or become a business partner with you. And this last part here, when I say recruit, you might say, well, I already know how to do that. But what we're going to be talking about is a different way to recruit. Recruiting as an authority rather than recruiting by chasing people. So it's a very, very different skill set to do it differently like that. So those are the 5 steps. If you're taking notes here, you might want to write these down. If you're on a Mac, you can press Command-Shift-4 to screenshot. I don't know how to do it on PC. So that is how you could take a screenshot of this. What we're going to do today is I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you a high-level version of all 5 of these. So I'm going to walk you through kind of the 10,000-foot view so you can get a good picture and an idea of how all 5 of these steps work. And unfortunately, I can't give you 11 years worth of experience inside of just 90 minutes, but I'm going to do my best to show you the big picture of this. And then we're going to really dive into 1 or 2 of these topics, and I'm going to give you a ton of detail on 1 or 2 of these, and then we'll save the rest for my paid training, Meetup Marketer, which I'll tell you about at the end. So make sure you stick around to hear about that. So the first one here is called prepare, okay? And so we spent a little bit of time preparing his group. And what we need to know is, who do we want to attract? Right? Where we're going to find them, what is the bait we can use to attract them, and what is the result we want to get them to. So the first part is who, and on Meetup, who you talk to is all about finding those topics. So you just want to talk to people that are already interested in what you have to do. So if you're in a travel company, you might want to jot some of these down, right? Maybe you say, I want to meet people that are new in town, or fun times, or nightlife, or international travel, maybe cruise vacation, cruises, weekend getaways, singles who like to travel. If you're in a fitness company, you might type in weight loss support, healthy weight loss, women's fitness, weight loss challenge, alternative medicine, healthy living, fitness, nutrition, wellness. Okay, so any of these topics. Now, this is showing you how many other groups there are that use this specific topic. Now, don't let the high number scare you. That doesn't mean, oh, you should avoid it because there's lots of competition. It's the exact opposite. It means lots of people are interested in this, so you should create a group using one of these tags. So there's 16,000 groups about healthy living, and each of those groups have anywhere between 50 people in them, all the way up to like 30,000 members in some Meetup groups. Okay. If you want to meet people that already think like entrepreneurs or who are looking for a business, you might type in sales or sales professional, entrepreneurship, marketing, small business. Maybe you put in e-business owners or stay-at-home moms, professional women, women entrepreneurs. Any of these topics are going to attract people for you that might match your interests. The next part is where. Where are you going to meet people? And really, where you're going to meet people is in your Meetup group. It's like your personal pond to fish from. And the best part is Meetup will stock the pond for you. Okay, so that is where you meet people. I'm going to spend some time here showing you how to create the group. Okay, so the process of creating a group is, like I said earlier, you want to create the group. Then you want to grow the size of your group. You want to get people to attend. You want to teach them to buy from you, and then you want them to, enroll from you. So the natural place for you to start right now is how to create your group. So I'm going to walk you through that. If you already have created a group, there's probably going to be some insights here on how to expand your existing group. So there's 3 different styles of group that you can create. We've got product, we've got networking, and we've got people. Now, before I can go through this, I have to explain the difference between core offer and core desire, because sometimes people get hung up here. They say, hey, I'm going to create a product group, and so my product is going to be called I sell weight loss shakes, you should come and buy them. All right. That's not normal on Meetup. People go to Meetup not to buy stuff like they do on Amazon. People go to Meetup to do stuff. Okay, so if you have a Meetup group that's around your core offer and you say, hey, come here and buy my stuff, it's not going to be normal on Meetup. First of all, Meetup's probably going to shut your group down. Second of all, even if they don't shut your group down, nobody's going to attend. So you have to know what the social norm is on Meetup. Now, if you want to just have something that's straight to your core offer, that's great. Go on to Amazon or go on to eBay or drive traffic to your website. And that's where you need to have, 5, 10 grand a month to be able to run ads specifically to what you sell. Okay. If you don't have that, and even that's not a guarantee that you're going to make any money. Okay. So the core offer might be a weight loss shake, but the core desire is I want to lose weight. I want to look better with my shirt off at the beach. I want to control my diabetes. I want to be able to have enough energy to play with my kids, right? If you're in a travel company, your core offer might be traveling, but what's the core desire? The core desire is somebody who likes to travel. They want new life experiences, right? They want adventure, right? So whatever that core desire is, that's what we're going to make your group around. So there's 3 different types of group. The first one is product. And again, it's not this. Right? This is an example of what happens if you have a core offer in your group. It says Herbalife Fit Camp, and it is just, hey, you should buy our stuff. And you can see here there's 51 members, and this group was created last year. This one's called World Ventures, so it's a travel group, and there's 45 members in it, and it says World Ventures is open in 24 countries. That's pretty good. You should join us. So it's all about me. Here's what I want. And as a result of that, it doesn't really work. This group is called Edmonton Single Travelers, and there's 4,000 members in it. Okay. And it's all about that core desire. So some of the things we like to do is fine dining, wine tasting, whitewater rafting, ethnic food cooking classes, hiking, movie nights, cabaret, dance lessons, right? So all of these types of things are going to attract people that like to travel. This one's called Stay Active, Work Out, and Have Fun in Calgary, 2,000 members. And it's like, here's the type of stuff that we do, right? Switching up your routine is usually the best way to conquer stubborn fatty areas. I've been active and struggling with my weight for years. And so here's some things I'm doing to switch it up. We're going to do support, socializing, working together to reach our goals. We're going to do laser tag, aquasize, softball, bowling, CrossFit, hiking, trampoline park, yoga, archery. So a bunch of different things that they're going to do. So it's all about that core desire. So if you're in a company that is one of the ones I mentioned, if you're in a weight loss or fitness company, if you're in a travel company, or if you are in a financial education company, I would really suggest doing a product group. It's going to be the easiest one for you to set up, and it'll be the easiest one for you to make a connection to the product that you have. When you do that, you're likely going to get a bunch of people that join originally as customers, but then down the road, those people will upgrade to become business owners. So that is how you do a product style group, or some examples of one. The next one is a networking group or a business style group. Okay, this is going to attract people that already think like entrepreneurs. Sometimes these groups will be smaller, but they're a lot more targeted. So this one is Edmonton Cash Flow Club. This one is a personal development group. This one here is a social networking group. It's got 7,000 members. So that style of group is you're trying to meet people that already think like entrepreneurs. And the goal of the group is not that you're going to invite people to share your business with them. The goal of the group is you're going to find people to become friends with, and then a portion of those friends are going to end up joining you in business. So you want to think about what's the core desire of entrepreneurs. What do they want to learn more about? Maybe you could teach them about, how to do marketing on LinkedIn, or how to do some Facebook stuff. Maybe you could have an event where you're just doing networking, where people are, meeting each other. Maybe you could play the cash flow board game like what I do. So those are all examples of an opportunity style group or a networking style group. The third type of group you can create is what I call a people group. Now, if you are not in one of the first three companies I listed, if you're not travel, financial education, or fitness, it doesn't mean that you can't do that style of group. I just don't have enough time on the webinar to go through the example for every single company, because there's 89 million network marketers and a lot of different companies. But if you can't have a natural tie-in between, hey, people who want my product usually want to lose weight, so we could do some weight loss activities, right? That's a pretty standard, line of thought. If you can't figure out what that is, then what you want to do is what's called a people style group. And this is where you're trying to attract people who are just like you. So maybe you do something like this, Portland single parents. So if you, as an example, if you personally are a single parent, right, who lives in Portland, if you're a single parent, and the reason you started your business was because you were tired of dropping your kids off at daycare and you wanted to be able to quit your job and stay home with them, here's what I know. I know that you're not the only single parent who's ever thought that. I also know that if we can get you in front of 1,700 other single parents, there's going to be a percentage of them that are going to want the same thing that you want. Okay, so this is one style of group that you could create. If you're a baby boomer and the reason you started your business was because you wanted more money to invest with, or you wanted to be able to retire, I know that if we get you in front of 2,100 other baby boomers and you make friends with a bunch of them, there's going to be some of those people that are going to want to start a business. Okay, so you're getting really targeted about who do you love working with. You're like, hey, I'm tired of working with punk kids. I only want to work with people that are my age and already have some money to work with, and I want to work with other baby boomers just like me, right? Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're like, hey, am I the only person who's 23 who's thinking about entrepreneurship? Like, I want to meet other people who are my age, who are young, fun, and professional. And this group has got 775 people. It's over 1,000 today. And they just go and do fun stuff. And you're meeting really targeted people that are already entrepreneurial, that already are professional, that don't mind putting the work in, and that are people that love having fun. So those are some different examples of the type of group that you can create. The third part is the bait, right? And the bait on Meetup is events. It's all about what your prospect wants, not what you want, right? So your events are all about how can you add value to your prospects? Where are your prospects stuck? What do they need? And how can you help them? Think about every event as like, a mini lesson or just a miniature transformation, right? Well, like a before and after picture. So if you can help somebody by teaching them something, if you can help somebody by working out with them, if you can help somebody by having fun with them, every single event is just about you adding value to the people that attend, so that you can build a rapport with them, you can become friends with them, and you can build massive goodwill where they know, like, and trust you, and they start bringing their friends and family to come and meet you. So what are some event ideas? Well, if you're in a travel company, obviously travel, you could do different events where you travel places. Billy Joe's done that in her group. But you could also do anything adventurous, right? So you could go to restaurants, you could go to charity events, you could do wine tastings. Basically, if the core desire is adventurous and new stuff, then anything that fits that bill would be a good thing for you to do in your group, right? You can't necessarily go traveling all the time, or if you're in a makeup company, you can't just do makeup all the time. But if somebody who enjoys makeup, maybe that person likes looking nice, maybe they like going out, maybe they like doing events. So what's the core desire, and how can you match that with some events? If you're in a health company, you could do stroller jogs, you could do yoga, you do running stairs, river valley runs, boot camps, family workouts, you could do archery, paintball, bubble soccer, trampoline parks, whatever the heck you want. And most businesses that do archery or paintball or trampoline parks, a lot of them, or CrossFit, will do like first time free. So you literally can call them up and say, hey, I've got 32 people that want to come to an event. Can we come for our first time free? Or do you have a discount for groups? Or do you have a discount for first timers? And a lot of times they do, and you can go for free or nearly free. And the people that come to the events can, just chip in and pay whatever it costs for them to go. If you have a financial company, you could do maybe teach them debt restructuring or budgeting. Maybe you could do an event about minimizing taxes and bring in an accountant, or teach real estate investing. Or maybe if you know that you love working with new parents, right? If new parents tend to buy a bunch of insurance and they're great clients for you, and you sell insurance, then how could you attract more new parents? Well, maybe you could teach a class that was specifically about budgeting for new parents, and either you could teach it or you could bring somebody else that would teach it, and you bring in 20, 30, 40 new people who are all new parents who all want to learn about budgeting. And now you've got a whole new list of people, from that one event who could all potentially buy insurance from you. You could do the Cash Flow 101 board game, like what I do. If you want to have a networking group, you could do sales training, a cash flow game, networking events, mastermind groups, book studies. You could have a featured trainer, or you could do speed networking. So just like regular networking, but in a speed kind of way. So these are different ideas for creating your group, okay? The next one is traffic, and this is how you get people to join your group. All right. So the difference between you building your funnel and having a meetup group that nobody is in or that nobody attends versus having a meetup group where you're getting lots of people out. And let me frame this for you properly, okay? Because I really want you to understand leverage. As business owners, you need to get leverage. And if you spend an hour, right, sitting with one prospect, or if you spend an hour sitting with 40 prospects all at once, your leverage is 40 to 1, meaning that doing it the one at a time way means that you're going to have to spend 40 hours to sit with people one at a time. If you get 40 people to attend one event that takes you an hour, then it takes you 1 hour to do the same amount of work that it normally takes you 40 hours to do. You do not have the time to do things one at a time. You have to find a way to get leverage, and it just takes a little bit of upfront work in order to get you to a point where you get that leverage. So in the beginning, it's like you're going to spend 5 hours to create a group, and you're going to get in front of 0 people. So it's like, well, that's 5 hours that I wasted. But right now, you're probably wasting multiple hours a month by meeting with people one at a time. So build it once, get leverage, and start getting in front of bigger and bigger groups. And if you're already doing events and you've got 100 people at your event, well, listen, it's the room cost is almost the same to have twice the size of room, right? Like the speakers that you bring in, you may as well have twice as many people at your events. So you need to spend some time really learning marketing to fill this up. And with Meetup, you don't even need to know any of that stuff. It's going to do it for you if you follow the Meetup norms, if you build your group properly. So let's go through how to get traffic to your group. There's 3 different ways. There's the kickoff email, there's Meetup search, and there is Google search. Okay, so those are the 3 different ways. I'm going to go through those quickly with you now. So the first one is the Meetup kickoff email, and this happens once. The other 2 options happen all the time. This one only happens once, but this is your biggest leverage point, because if you can get your group to the top of Google, if you can get your group featured on Meetup, if you can get lots of people that are attending your group, you create what's called social proof. Once you have a successful group, once there's lots of people attending your events, it starts to work like a magnet, where when people see your event and another event that are happening on the same day, they want to go to yours because yours has more social proof. Yours has more people attending. So the easiest way to get social proof is when you first create your group. So what you want to do is you want to select your topics. This is who you want to attract, and you want to make sure that you select the best topics. Literally a 1-word difference. If you type in weight loss versus lose weight, it might be that both of those people want to lose weight and both of those people want weight loss, but when they joined Meetup, they didn't click on lose weight, they clicked on weight loss. Okay, so if you just have the tag lose weight, that person who wants weight loss is never going to see your group because you selected the wrong topic. So you want to make sure that you choose the right topics, and you want to make sure, again, that you choose topics that have a high number of groups associated with them. The next thing you want to do is create your bait. So when somebody has selected a topic, they're going to get an email from you or from Meetup that says, hey, there's this new group, you should check it out. And when they click on that email, they're going to see your group. And if your group doesn't have any events or activities planned, then people probably are going to disregard the email and they're never going to join your group, which means you don't have a chance to continue to interact with them. What you want to do is you want to create 4 events right off the bat that are all super valuable events, and you want to put your best 4 events right off the bat. And what's going to happen then is when people get that email, they're going to join your group and they can instantly RSVP to one of your events. And even if they don't RSVP to one of your events, the fact that they join your group means that they're going to get future emails from you and future chances to come to events and meet you in person, which means that you've got more chances to turn those people into customers and business partners. So we're going to do this work up front, and then email is going to send out that kickoff email. It only happens once. There is no way to make it happen again. The only way, if you have an existing group, is to create a second group or a new group. And Meetup is going to flood you with prospects. Literally, the difference between nailing this kickoff email was the difference between it taking 4 years to hit 300 members versus David hitting it in just 36 days. Okay, so here are some of the tags. Again, if you type in outdoor fitness as your tag, nobody types in outdoor fitness, so nobody's going to see your group. If you just type in only the word outdoors and you use that as your tag, you're going to get in front of 15,000 people. In fact, fitness also gets in front of 15,000 people. So if you do one topic as fitness and one topic as outdoors, there's 30,000 groups that are matching those topics because they're really popular. If you type in outdoor fitness, even if you're doing outdoor fitness, even if people are interested in outdoor fitness, right? The fact is that they're not typing in outdoor fitness as something that they're interested in, which means that you're not going to get in front of them. They're never going to see your email. They're never going to find out about your group. And you're going to have less people that attend your events, which means that it's going to be, take you 10 times the amount of time to get in front of the same number of people. If you've got 5 people that attend your event versus 50, then it's literally going to take you 10 times as many events to get in front of 50 people. So this is why it's important to set it up right the first time so that you get that leverage. So the trick to making it work, you want to create some added value events. You want to write a description, some activities, and focus on how much you can give, not how much you can get. This is where most people get it wrong. And they're like, well, I want to do an event where I can sell XYZ or where I can enroll people. Instead of that, just focus on how can you be helpful. And if you do that properly, you're going to get a ton of people to join your group. You're going to get a ton of people that are attending your events on an ongoing basis. And because of that, then when it's time for you to introduce your product or your service, you can do it the right way and get a lot of people who join you. So that is the first way. The next way is Meetup search. So Meetup actually works just like Google, where people can go on at any time and search your group. So after your kickoff email happens, then this is how people will find your group from that moment forward. This one happens ongoing. So people will continue to join your group month after month after month. And there's 30 million users on Meetup. The next one is Google. So if you go into Google and you type in Get Fit Mind, Body, Soul in Ottawa, the first thing that comes up is my friend's Meetup group, David's group. If you type in Get Fit, Have Fun, Edmonton, the first thing that comes up is Kat's group, right? So somebody who goes on Meetup, so goes on Google and they're looking to get fit or have fun in Edmonton, literally the first thing that comes up is her group. In fact, if you type in any combination of those 3 words, get fit, lose weight, or have fun, so get fit, have fun, lose weight, have fun, get fit, lose weight. Any of those combinations, the first thing that will show up is Kat's Meetup group. So imagine there's people that go on Google because they're like looking for something right now, and those people end up joining your group. Edmonton Single Travelers, same thing. First page. Normally, you'd have to pay literally thousands of dollars a month to get to the top of Google. By using Meetup, you can tap into their SEO budget, and you literally don't have to pay anything. So as a Meetup organizer, it's cost you $20 a month to Meetup, and Meetup will then allow you to be an organizer. You can host up to 3 groups, and you tap into all of that SEO power. And so all of those things ended up meaning that after 10 days, we had 185 people in our group. 33 people going to our first event. At the end of 22 days, we had now 37 members attending and 269 people. And at the end of 36 days, there was 372 people in his group. So here's kind of a visual of this. Okay, I want you to think about this for a second. We've literally had thousands of people that were introduced to our group from Meetup and Google. Of those people, 372 of them put their hand up and said, yeah, I'm interested in losing weight. Those are 372 targeted leads. So here's what I want you to think about, right? If you said that you're in the grind quadrant, or if you said that you're in the busy pro quadrant, going after people one at a time, what I want you to think about is, however you introduce people right now, whether that's an hour-long presentation, whether that's inviting them to a hotel, whether that's doing a one-on-one sales call, whether that's getting them to watch a video online, whatever you do right now. All right. If you were to talk to 1,000 people one at a time, and it's probably thousands, but if you're let's say it's 1,000. If you were to talk to 1,000 people one at a time, just to figure out which 372 of them are even open to the idea of losing weight, let alone your product, right? How long is it going to take you in hours? Let me know in the chat box. How many hours is it going to take you to sort through that 1,000 people one at a time? Let me know in the chat box in hours. Lots of comments so far, by the way. Freddie says, love it. Nikamina says, love it with some hearts. Kat says, love it, all caps. Brilliant from Devin. Changes the relationship. Absolutely. You just want to add value first and build that relationship up with people. And then when it comes time for you to introduce them to whatever it is you do, it makes it a lot easier. A couple questions in here. I promise that I will go through those at the end. We'll have some time for some Q&A. So Devin, remind me of your question. Just copy and paste it at the end about how to do a financial education company, and I will go through that. Devin says 500, 2,500 hours. Barbara says too many. Barbara, come on, play. Give us a number. Paula says 1,000 hours. Dominic says genius. So yeah, if you're talking to people one at a time, it is just going to take you way too long. Freddie says 500 plus hours. Sadek says 2,000, 750 hours to 1,000 hours. So listen, all of this happened for David. He had to build the group once, but then that's it. And next month, there's going to be thousands more that see the group. There's going to be hundreds more that join it. And it's literally going to take him 0 time to get those people to join his group. Now, from there, he's going to add some value to him, and that's to the people that join the group, and that will take a little bit of time. But again, we're still getting leverage. So this is why you can be working way less and making way more because you're getting leverage. So at the time, I think 6 months later, his group was at 600 or 751 members. Okay. So that is the traffic section. The next one is the value-added events. So we had people from Meetup and Google join the group, and once they joined the group, we literally can send an email to them whenever he wanted. Okay, but from there, what I suggest to you is don't send them a message and say, hey, join my business. Let's add some value. Let's turn these people into friends. So we did 4 events: beginner yoga, color run Canada, connect session, and advanced yoga. And Meetup automatically sends an email that introduces people and says, hey, we're going to do an event called Beginner Yoga. Who wants to attend? So month number 1, event number 1, 37 people attended. I think 43 RSVP'd and 37 actually attended. Number 2 was Color Run Canada, 9 attended. Number 3, 24 people attended. And number 4, 36 people attended, for a total of 106 people that joined his group month number 1. So we had 106 prospects that physically attended one of his events. He met 106 people in person, and I think it took him like 4 to 8 hours to meet 106 people in person to decide which ones does he like, who doesn't he like, who would he consider working with, right? All of that information. So here's some ideas for you, or here's some things you want to make sure you do, a little checklist for you, all right? First of all, you want people to RSVP early. What normally happens is people see an event, especially if it's a paid event. If they see an event, they're like, well, I don't know if I want to go or not. I'm going to wait, and then a day before the event comes, I'll make a decision, okay? What happens is then if nobody RSVPs for your event, then when people are looking at your event, they're saying, oh, there's not very many people coming, and it wrecks your social proof. So we want to create urgency and scarcity so that people take action quickly, and we want them to actually show up. Okay, so one of the ways you can do this is by putting a limit on the number of people that can attend. You can say, we only have 40 spots available. All right. A second way to do this is use what's called staggered pricing. And staggered pricing looks like, hey, the first 20 people that RSVP and buy are going to pay $5, and the next 20 people that RSVP are going to pay $20. And what happens is the first group of 20 RSVPs right away because they want to get the cheaper pricing. Sometimes I've done events where I've said, hey, the first 30 are free, and the next 30 are $20 a person, and at the door is $50, right? And all of a sudden, about 70, 80 people at an event. So more SRPs is more sales for you. And if you charge for events, you can actually train your prospects to buy. A quick note, you want to make sure that you don't do this on Meetup. Meaning that you don't use the charging function on Meetup because they don't have a way to do staggered pricing. So you don't want to do it there. Otherwise, you're going to actually have the reverse effect. But you want to use staggered pricing to train your prospects to buy from you. And in David's first month, he actually created 2 groups. One was his fitness group, and one was it's called Young Pros. And in his Young Pros event, he had 36 people who all paid $5 each to attend one of his events, which means he got paid $180 for 2 hours of work. And even if nobody joins his business, he still got paid $90 an hour. He literally gets paid to prospect. And it's $5. Like, it's not a big deal. Just a bunch of people throwing a little bit of money to come to an event, and all of a sudden he gets paid to prospect. So event number 1 was 37. Event number 2 was 9. Event number 3 was 24. And event number 4 was 37. His third event was supposed to be a connect session, but something happened with his location, so they just changed it up to be yoga at the beach. And event number 4 was advanced yoga. So he ended up having 106 people attend. Okay, so think about this for a second. We have thousands of people that were sorted down to the top 372, the people that want to lose weight. And of those, we had 106 that were targeted, motivated leads. So we could have talked to the 1,000 people one at a time, but that didn't sound like a lot of fun. We could have talked to the 372 people one at a time, but that's also not the best use of your time, right? 372 people said, I'm interested in losing weight. 106 people got in their car, drove to an event, and did yoga. 106 people got in their car, drove to an event, and physically worked out. They showed us with their actions that they are motivated. They don't want to lose weight someday. They're ready to lose weight right freaking now. Okay, so you see the difference between targeted leads versus targeted and motivated leads? And we could have called 372 people one at a time to figure out who was who, or we could just do a couple events that were a lot of fun, and we could just figure it out based on that. Who are the people that are ready to go right freaking now? So hopefully that's making sense. Hopefully you are liking this. And some people say, well, I don't have 2 hours to host an event. I'm like, well, I hope you have 2 hours to call 372 people one at a time. And usually they don't even have 372 people that they even could call. Okay, so if you want to make a 6-figure income, you need to be prepared to put in 6-figure type work. And if you 6-figure type work means usually you go to school for 5 years, you're $250,000 in debt, you don't get paid for 7 years, and at the end of that, hopefully you get a job that pays you 6 figures. Right? Or you have to work some crazy job that nobody else wants to do, where you're away from your family for huge stretches of time all at once. So again, if you want to make a couple $100 a month, you don't need to do what I'm talking about. But if you want to be a 6-figure income earner, then you need to find a way to get in front of way more people. And likely, if you're going to do it the way that you're doing it right now, you're not going to get in front of enough people. So you have to find a way to get leverage. The last thing is our interest form. Okay, so we had 106 people who attended events. Every single person filled out an interest form. So it's like a registration form, and we get some information at the top of the form. And then we also have them fill it out at the end of the event where they tell us what things they're interested in. Of the 106, 62 people specifically asked for our help. Okay, so here's an example. of a registration form. This one's not David's. And you're going to do a different registration form depending on the style of event, the style of group that you have. So if you have a people group, it'll be different. If you have an opportunity group, it'll be different. If you have an interest, if you have a product group, it'll be different. So this is an example of a product group, okay? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your fitness? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your nutrition level? Right? If somebody says my fitness is an 8 and my nutrition is a 2, well, I can tell you why you're not losing any weight. It's really simple. And you could probably give some suggestions, right? Is your goal to lose weight or build muscle? How much weight would you like to lose? If it was my form, I'd say, when would you like to lose it by? What's stopping you from reaching your health and fitness goals, right? So all of these questions are going to really help when it comes to making the bridge between calling them back. If you don't do this interest form properly, then it's going to feel like you invited people to join your meetup group and then you did a bait and switch and all of a sudden, you're trying to sell them something. If you do this interest form properly, then every single person who fills out the form is going to feel like you're calling them back to help them rather than calling them back to sell them, which is what you should be doing anyways, right? So you say, hey, it says on your form here that you wanted to lose weight. And by the way, when you call somebody back, if you meet somebody and they give you your phone number and you're like dreading calling them and you finally call them and it goes to voicemail 3 times. And then when they answer, they're like, sorry, who is this? Oh, you're that person? Okay, well, yeah, maybe call me back later, right? The way that Kat's calls went when she called people back from her group, this is one of her forms, is they're like, I only heard one side of the conversation because I was sitting with her. But she was like, hey, I'm just calling to thank you for coming to the event, and I wanted to talk to you about your form. Do you have a minute? Oh, you're welcome. I'm really glad you enjoyed the event. Well, listen, the reason I'm calling is, oh, well, no, you're welcome. I'm really glad you liked it. Yeah, we'll do it again, probably in a few months from now. Sure, you can invite some friends to it. Yeah, that would be fine. Well, I'm really glad you had fun. I liked it too. Yeah, it was my first time too. Listen, on your form here, it says that you want to lose 90 pounds in the next 30 days. I don't know if you know this, but I've actually been able to lose 30 pounds myself, or I've actually been able to help my friend Sally lose 30 pounds. Would you like my help? Right? So it's a very easy transition if you do this form properly. If you don't do this form properly, then it's going to be awkward and it's going to feel like a bait and switch. So having this interest form, sorting people this way, this one simple strategy generated over $250,000 in profits for me in just 1 year. I did it by doing one launch where I enrolled 25 people in 21 days. They all joined as distributors on the top package, and it completely changed my business and my lifestyle. So on your form, you want contact information and you want what's called consultative questions. Contact information, you want to own their information and you don't own Meetup. So you want their name, phone number, email address. That way you physically own that information. Even if something, if Meetup gets sold or if Meetup closes your group down or if something crazy happens, you still have a stack of people's names, phone numbers, and email addresses. The next one is consultative questions, okay? And this is really the part that makes that transition happen for you. The difference between a doctor versus a telemarketer is questions. A telemarketer is just blab, 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 say as much as they can before they get, before you hang up on them. A doctor is going to ask you some questions, find out, where you need help, and then they're going to direct you to whatever the solution is going to be. And that solution isn't always the same solution, right? So you can't have the expectation that every single person that comes is going to buy your product. What you want to be thinking about is, how do I just direct people in whatever direction they want to go? So every single person that comes, when people come to my event, if they want to learn about real estate, I send them one direction. If they want to learn about the stock market, I send them in a different direction. If they want to join a business, I send them in my direction. And the crazy thing is after doing this for a while now, I've actually have joint ventures set up so that if somebody wants to learn about real estate, I send them that way and I get paid. If they want to learn about the stock market, I send them a different way and I get paid. So whatever direction they want to go, I get paid no matter what, and they're happy no matter what, because I'm just sending them where they want to go. Rather than trying to close them, rather than trying to sell them, rather than trying to convince them that they should do what I'm doing and quit what they're doing, I just direct them to whatever the heck they need, and I get paid no matter what. And so even if you don't have the joint venture set up, just by directing people like that, every single person is going to love you. And there's going to be a high number of people that are going to want what you've got, simply because you're going to get in front of way more people if you do this right. So consultative questions, things like on a scale of 1 to 10, things like that. Or you could do some yes and no questions. You could say check the box for whichever ones apply. So here's some examples. How many vacations did you take last year? How many vacations would you like to take each year? right? So I asked you on the webinar today, how many people did you enroll last year? How many people would you like to enroll this year, right? If there's a difference between those numbers, then you have a need. You have to do something different. So same thing. If they say, last year I took 0 vacations and I'd like to take 5 a year, well, just by them answering that question for you, you are showing them that they have a need. At what age will you have enough saved to retire? What age would you like to have enough saved to retire? Right? So again, if there's a difference between those numbers, then they have a need and they are overtly expressing it to you. How much weight would you like to lose? When would you like to lose it by? So these are all different examples. So this again is for a product specific group. Here's one if you have a networking group, right? Which of the following topics are you interested in learning more about? So this is one of my students, Mia. Do you want to learn more about networking skills, public speaking, social media? Do you want to learn more about starting a new business? Okay, anybody that checks starting a new business is a great prospect for her. And she's actually in a company called Sendout Cards. So anybody who says that they want, marketing or relationship marketing, then she can contact them about her business that way. This one's for a company called Trinot and somebody who does financial education, and they're also a real estate investor. So just some yes and no questions about what you're interested in. So the bottom line is we got thousands of people. Of those, 372 are targeted leads. From those, instead of calling 372, we just figured out which 106 of them were targeted motivated leads. And he met and made 106 brand new friends, and he got to choose which one of those people, does he even want to talk to. And of those, 62 physically circled yes on his form and said, please call me, I'd like your help. You could chase thousands of people one at a time to come up with the top 62 that actually want your help. And you could spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of rejection doing so. Or you could spend the time, get some leverage, build a funnel one time, because guess what? Next month, there's going to be thousands more that see his group. There's going to be hundreds more that join, and there'll probably be 62 more that circle yes on his form, and he'll have brand new leads again next month because he took the time to build the funnel once. Let me tell you something. Calling prospects is super freaking easy when they're expecting your call and they circled yes on your form. It's even easier when they already know, like, and trust you and look to you as the trusted authority. It honors the prospect and they respect you for it. You quickly found out which prospects are interested, which ones are motivated, and which ones are looking for a solution. And just as importantly, you figured out which ones aren't. Right? Don't waste time with tire kickers. You added value to every single person, even the ones who didn't buy, which is important because more people are going to say no than who say yes. So why not build massive goodwill with the no's? They might reattend. They might bring friends with them to the next event. They might buy a different product or service from you in the future. Adding value and building massive goodwill may come in handy. And I know this for a stone cold fact, it also makes you 1 million times cooler than every other network marketer on the planet who's always pitching and always chasing prospects. Best of all, adding value and prospecting in bunches feels amazing. It saves you time and positions you to recruit with authority. So let's talk really quickly about duplication. Okay, so here's the big picture of a team list in 365 days of 50,000 prospects. Okay, so if you went out and you created a group that had 2,000 members in it, so in a year from now, it's got 2,000 members. I've shown you groups that are a lot bigger than that, right? But in a year from now, if you've got 2,000 members in your group, then you send one email out to that group and say, hey, we're having a special, or hey, I'm doing a launch, or whatever, right? Of those 2,000 people, if you have 5% join, you just got 100 new customers that day. If you make, if your average sale is $200 a month, or if is for your auto ship, and you have 100 new customers, you just added $20,000 a month in new volume to your business. And if it's a residual product, it's $20,000 this month and next month and the next month and the next month, right? Just from adding those 100 customers once. In the chat box, let me know if you followed what I was about to show you here today. Do you think, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you did this, and if you did what David did, that you could enroll 2 new business partners every month? Give me a yes, a no, a maybe, or a hell yes with certainty. Devin, yes. Patricia, yes. Sadak, yes. Barbara, yes. Yes, and some clapping from Nick and Mina. Heck yes. Hell yes, let's do this from Freddie. Heck yes, 2 new affiliates from Devin, without a doubt. Cool. So First of all, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to understand, we talked about leverage. I want you to understand opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means for every month that you don't have your group up, it's costing you 2 new business partners. So think about what those 2 new business partners are worth to you up front, like what you get as a, from a commission when they join, and what that's worth to you on an ongoing basis. For me, 35 people ended up turning into $500,000 in personal commissions inside of a couple of years. So I just have to divide 35 by 500,000. That tells me what each person, each new good prospect is worth to me. Okay, each new person that joins. So, every month that you don't have a group is costing you those 2 members. But I want you to take it a step further. Okay, if you could go out and enroll 2 new people in the next year, and a year from now, you'd have 24 people on your team. What if you taught those 24 people to build their own meetup group? What if your group plus their group meant that you had 25 meetup groups all around the world? Maybe they could all be in your city. And you might say, well, boy, I don't think we could do the same group in a city. Absolutely, you can. You might, if you're in a fitness company, you might have a group that is called Lose Weight, Get Fit, Have Fun. Somebody else might have a group that is about Get Fit, Mind, Body, Soul. Somebody else might have a group that's called Train Like a Seal. And these are all different group names of some of my students, and they all attract very different people. Not to mention the fact that somebody else might have a cash flow club. Somebody else might have a networking group. Somebody else might have a group to meet and attract single parents. Right? So literally, you could have 25 different groups, all in the same city if you wanted. 25 groups times 2,000 leads each is a 50,000 person prospect list. Right? Again, if 5 people join from your group, 5%, you got 100 new prospects that join. That's 20,000 in sales per month. If you got 25 groups, it's literally $500,000 in sales every single month. $6 million a year in sales running through your team because of you and a team of 25, right? Even if you fail that example by 90%, right? All of a sudden you've got a business that does $600,000 in sales per year from you and a team of 25. It's absolutely freaking crazy. So quick recap. We talked about moving from the grind up to the star quadrant. We talked about the fact that in the star quadrant, you're going to get the same leverage you'd get at a trade show with the same authority and respect that you'd get on a 3-way call. If you put those together, that's what it feels like to be a meetup organizer. And Meetup is by far the easiest way to get you into the star quadrant. We talked about using your Meetup funnel. We talked about your group being who do you want to attract and how can you serve them. We talked about traffic, right? Selecting your topics. Your description is all about doing. Let Google promote it for you. And that Meetup kickoff email is your leverage point. You want to make sure you prepare properly so that you can take advantage of that. We talked about your added value events, creating social proof, doing stuff you love. And if you charge for events, you can increase your RSVPs and train prospects to buy from you, specifically if you do the staggered pricing. We talked about your interest form. And this is where they ask you for information. You use that authority positioning. You're not wasting time on unqualified prospects. And every event that you do is a stack of interest forms of people that you can contact. And at the bottom of that funnel, you build it once, and then ongoing, you're going to have your perfect prospect coming out the bottom. So listen, you're sitting at your computer and you're watching this webinar. You've heard how all of this works, and you know that using Meetup can be a great way for you to meet more of your perfect prospect. And clearly, authority marketing works. Just look at how many top network marketers are writing books, using Facebook ads, or speaking from stage. That's why you're smart to move from the desperation quadrant to the star quadrant. And with Meetup, it's actually within your reach. So if you're a network marketer who wants to meet more of your perfect prospect and you're genuinely interested in creating friendships and adding value to people's lives, Meetup is the way to go. So you're at a crossroads right now. There's a question that needs to be answered. And hopefully, if you're still here, if you're still on the webinar, the question is not, should I use Meetup? Right? By now, hopefully you know that Meetup is by far the easiest way for you to get into the star quadrant. And hopefully you know that if you want to hit that 6-figure income goal, then you're going to need to do something different. So the question isn't, should I be a Meetup organizer? Should I use Meetup? The question is, do you want to do this the slow way or do you want to do it the fast way? Well, what's the slow way? Well, the slow way is you can try to figure out Meetup on your own using trial and error and some of the stuff that I showed you today. And doing it that way is going to cost you time. And if you do it wrong, it's going to cost you money, right? And if you do all of it and create your group, but you don't master attraction marketing and permission-based selling, right, then you're going to go right back to chasing people. So you'll have a group and you'll have people that come to you in that group, but you're going to go right back to chasing them if you don't learn how to have the right posture and the right permission-based selling. Or you can do it the fast way. You can let me show you the formula of exactly how it works. I'll take you by the hand and I'll walk you step by step by step through every little thing. I'll even show you how to profit from your events so that the training pays for itself. You can think about it like a little sponsorship, right? So that you can get the training for free. So here's what I got. I created a 5-module experience for you called Meetup Marketer, where I literally recorded each step that I used to create David's Meetup group, the example from today. And I walk you step by step by step through how to set up your group, right? How to attract the best prospects, what to say at your events, how to get paid from your events, how to recruit into your business, when to call people back, what to say to them when you call them back. Every little thing that you need to know about how to recruit from Meetup. Literally 11 years worth of experience down to a small little package of the most essential things that you need to know. Module number 1 is called Prepare. Module 2 is Create. Module 3 is Grow. Module 4 is Profit. And module number 5 is Recruit. So each one of these modules has multiple video lessons in each of them, as well as text lesson. And I walk you through each one of these steps. So module number 1, we're going to be talking about how to prepare. And the reason this is important is because if you put your group up and it's not prepared right, then Meetup is going to send that kickoff email out even before you're ready. And then you're going to get in front of a much smaller group of people, and you're going to miss all of those people who are already on Meetup, who already told Meetup that they're looking for you, right? So you want to make sure you prepare properly to get in front of those folks. Otherwise, it's going to take you a really long time on the other ways, the Meetup search and the Google search, because those ones don't even work as well if you have a smaller group. You want to get lots of people to join your group. You want lots of activity because that's what's going to increase your social proof and get lots of people. So let's prepare it right, and let's do it right the first time so you don't waste time and effort. I'm going to show you how to choose the best events based on your group type so that you avoid no-shows. I'm going to show you how to attract your first 300 members in your first 30 days. I'll show you exactly step by step how we did that with David. And the bottom line is, at the end of module 1, you're going to have done the preparation so that you have crafted a group that you're proud to lead. Module number 2 is all about creating, and this is going to be where we talk about attracting your perfect prospect by selecting the best topics or tags. Okay, we're going to create a group name that represents you and your brand. A quick tip is that your group name should be who plus do. So who you want to attract plus what you're going to do in the group. That simple formula will help you quickly create a name that converts. So little things like that I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to show you how to use the Meetup launch email and social proof so that you get prospects coming to you. Module number 3 is all about growing, and this is about maximizing the number of people who join, RSVP, and attend your events so that you can recruit with leverage and save time. Like I said before, there's no point in doing an event where 5 people show up. You may as well have 20 people or 50 people because you're going to get a lot more leverage. And don't worry, you don't have to be some magical great leader in order to do this. People are expecting on Meetup the social norm, and people get together to go like walk dogs together and do all kinds of stuff. Okay, so you'll be absolutely having a lot of fun, and you'll be confident because you're going to be doing stuff that you love. I think that's a big piece. Is we want to pick things that you already enjoy, that you're already great at, and we'll get people coming to you to do those types of things. We're going to increase your exposure and your local star power so that you can build authority and command respect. And you're going to collect contact information so that you have a huge list of people who know, like, and trust you. I'm literally going to walk you through step by step by step exactly how to create your interest form so that you have a nice little bridge to call people back and talk to them about your business or your opportunity. Module number 4 is all about profiting, okay? And there's 7 different ways that you can profit that will cover all of your expenses so that you get free leads. We're going to turn your raving fans into paying clients so that you train them to spend money with you. And I'll show you which tools to use to create staggered pricing so that you get a flood of early RSVPs to your events, creating massive social proof. I'll actually give you a case study of one event where I used 5 of the 7 ways to profit. And at one event, I think it was like $7,000 or $8,000 that came in as a result of some different joint ventures, people paying to be at the event, and some different things like that. Now, that didn't happen overnight. That was after me hosting a group for a number of years. But that's what's possible, is you can have events like that down the road. I'm also going to show you how Kat made over $5,000 last year just from one of the 7 ways to profit. All right, she created a membership fee, and it was actually an optional fee that people paid, and she's literally generated an extra $5,000 just from that. So not talking about new customers, not talking about new business partners, not talking about growing her business, right? On top of all of that, she's made an extra $5,000 just from hosting a couple hours a week for an event, right? Imagine making an extra $500 a month just by, working a couple hours every month or a couple hours every week, right? That extra income, not only is it money in your pocket, you can use that for personal development stuff. You can use that to pay for other trainings. You can use that as a business bank account so that you can grow your business. It also means that 100% of what you make from business partners and recruits is 100% profit. Module number 5 is all about recruiting. Okay, and this is about recruiting as an authority. It's a totally different way to think and to act. You need to teach people and train people how to respond to you. And you want to teach them and train them that they are chasing you, not that you're chasing them. So literally, I've had people before where I've called them back after my event, and they just I think twice out of 11 years, I've had people that were really pretty rude to me when I called them back. And all I said to them was, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just calling back because you circled yes on your form. So I was just calling you to give you information. What changed?" And immediately they started backpedaling. I'm really sorry. I had a fight with my wife. It's nothing to do with you. Call me back tomorrow at noon. And I said, well, I could call you back tomorrow at noon, but I don't want to call you unless this is going to be, a priority for you. So when you circled yes, was that just what you were feeling that day? Or is it really a priority for you to make passive income? Right. And 100%, they fully changed around. They're like, no, I definitely want it. Please, if you can call me anytime tomorrow, what time works for you? Right. I'm not chasing them. They're chasing me. And that's what I'm going to teach you in module number 5. There's lots of little tricks and little things you can do to help you with that. We want them to ask you about your business, so we're going to get a custom form that we build with you, and I'll walk you through step-by-step how to do that so that they are asking you about your business. You're going to learn permission-based selling so that you and your prospect both feel totally comfortable, right, where you're taking that doctor positioning, you're getting the same respect and the same close rate as a doctor gets, and doctors get almost 100% close rate of prescriptions that they create compared to what gets filled. So regardless of how you feel about doctors, they do a great job of asking questions and getting a high close rate, rather than them treating you like you're just a spammy telemarketer, right? That's how it feels to be in the grind quadrant. And I'm going to show you how to master the Meetup launch method so that you can recruit prospects in bunches. There's literally 4 different ways that you can recruit. One of them is specifically to help you get customers, and then some of those are going to upgrade to business partners. One of those is to go directly to talking about your business, which I'll show you how to do that. And then you could do what's called a direct launch or an indirect launch, and that's where rather than selling all the time, you just wait, and every 6 months or 3 months or year, whatever you want, you just do a launch and you go and you recruit a bunch of people in a small period of time. And doing that creates scarcity and urgency. If you follow Eric Worre from Network Marketing Pro, he talks about how different it is if you recruit 20 people in 30 days versus 20 people in 20 months. So that's the way that I prefer, but I'll teach you all 4 ways. You can literally pick whichever one works the best for your personality. But the bottom line is we're going to turn this into something that brings you new people on an ongoing basis, and you can start to choose who you want to work with. You're getting the exact same system that I personally used to recruit 25 people in 21 days, which ended up leading to over $500,000 in commissions over just a couple of years, and $11 million in sales, which I think is $5.5 million paid out to people inside of my team. And the price? Well, there's literally no other Meetup system like this. The only other Meetup systems out there will teach you how to go to other people's events and be in the grind quadrant. You could do Facebook ads or write a best-selling book if you wanted to get into the star quadrant. But literally, you're going to have to pay money to learn that stuff. Plus, you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars per month. With Meetup, you pay one time to build your funnel. And after that, it's $20 per month. And once that's set up, you literally can get paid to host events. Kat made an extra $5,000, right? She spent $20 times 12, so she spent like $150 for Meetup, and she made back $5,000. Not even counting what she did to build her business. Coaching clients literally pay me over $7,000 for one-on-one work to help them grow their business. But I wanted to be able to reach more people. And that's why I created Meetup Marketer, was to make something that was more affordable, that I could get to a lot of people with through this online course. And so you can get started right now for just 3 payments of $277 USD, or you can save a bit more by making 1 payment of $697 USD up front. So you can get started by going to meetupmarketer.com, and I'm going to share a couple bonuses with you and a couple other things that you get. But if this is the very first webinar of mine that you've been on, so if this is the first time you've seen this webinar, my perfect prospect is somebody who takes action quickly. I love working with fast action takers, and selfishly, fast action takers end up implementing this stuff faster. They end up being the people that usually get the best results, and therefore they give me the best testimonials and referrals. So I love working with people who just take action quickly, and so as a result of that, I love to reward fast action takers. So if you've already been on a webinar before and you're just reattending to try to get the fast action bonus, it won't work. But if this is the first time that you've been on, the system automatically tracks it. You can get started right now for just 3 payments of $167, or you can save an additional $104 by making 1 payment of $397. So this is your first time and you want to get started, you can head on over to meetupmarketer.com/custom, and you should see that discounted price. If you don't, just shoot a message in the chat box to Zoe. But if it's your first time, you should see the $397 discount, or $397 pricing, and a countdown timer to help you get started for that discounted price. And if you're one of the first 10 people to enroll, you're going to have your Meetup group reviewed by my team. So if you want to, really make sure you get the most of that Meetup launch email, that kickoff email, then as soon as your preparation is done for your group, before you create it on Meetup, then just send us your information, and you're going to get a custom video emailed to you, so you can make changes to your group before it's launched on Meetup. So you can take advantage of that Meetup kickoff. So obviously, I can't do this for everybody. Otherwise, I'd be spending all my time doing this. But for the first 10 to enroll, if you want to get started right now, then and you're one of the first 10, then we will send that to you. And as soon as your group is ready to go, we will send you that email. You can get started at meetupmarketer.com/custom. I've got a couple bonuses to let you know about, and then I'm going to do some live Q&A. But let me show you. This is what it looks like. Okay, so let me see if I can bring this up for you. So what you want to do is, when you get there, just fill out your contact information here. So you're going to put in, choose whichever plan works the best for you. Then from there, go out and fill your usual contact information. And then you're going to have an email sent to you with your username and password. And once you get there, I'll bring it up for you here. This is what you're going to see. So you'll be able to go ahead and log in. When you log in, you're going to be able to have a quick little welcome video here that kind of gives you a little tour of the back office. Wherever your saved progress, if you're on module 4, you just hit continue. It'll take you right back there. Okay. And from there, it'll show you all of the different sections. Okay, so if you go into the profit section, the profit module actually has 8 different lessons. So each one of these lessons, when you go into them, it tells you the 8 different ways to profit, right? There's a video right there. It shows you in text underneath. So if you have to go back and find something, really easy to do. There's a help box in case you need something. we've got a, so you can see right along the side here, you can go to whichever module that you want. We literally walk you step by step through everything. In the create section here where you're actually building your group, it is me actually going through and doing it with you. Okay, so when you're creating and optimizing your group, I'm going to walk you through, like, here's actually the Meetup site, here's what to click, here's where to go. I go through all of that with you, and then there's a whole bonus section as well that you can go to down here. And there's lots of different bonuses in there. There's even some that are little surprise bonuses that I won't even tell you about. Anytime there's kind of new information that comes up or somebody gets stuck somewhere, I just go ahead and create that extra bonus and put it in the bonus section for you. So that is where you'll find all of that. So that's what happens. It is lifetime access, and there's no drip content. So sometimes people will say, month number 1, I'll give you module number 1. Month number 2, I'll give you module number 2, and month number 5, you'll get module number 5. And the reason they do that is because they want to make sure that you make all of your monthly payments before they give you all of the information. I don't work that way. I trust you. I know you're going to make all your payments, and literally, I've had students that have had to scrounge together some money to get started, literally had to mow lawns and do stuff to get started because just where they were financially. And they took the course, they took action on it, they went through all the modules in a weekend, and they created their group. And by the time their second payment came around, they had already made enough money from their group to cover the second payment. So I don't want to slow you down. I want you to be able to go as quickly as you want. So if you want to Netflix binge it, go ahead. On the other hand, if you want to go slow and steady, that's cool too. You've got lifetime access, take your time. So again, if you want to attract your perfect prospect, if you want to build trust, and if you want to recruit more people into your business so that you can hit that next rank and get paid what you're worth, head on over to meetupmarketer.com/custom. Zoe will go ahead and pop that in the chat box for you. And we have a 30-day results guarantee. Okay, so I actually guarantee your results. And the guarantee is set up so that if you do the work, if you go through and you don't do the work, that's on you. If you go through and you do the work and you don't get the results, that is 100% on me. So all you need to do is at the end of the 30 days, if it's not for you, let me know and I'll give you a full refund. And the way it works is all you need to do is follow the first 2 modules of the course, the prepare and the create your group. And when your group gets launched, if you don't have as many members in your group as you want, or if you don't, you just don't like the results that your Meetup group is getting you, no problem. Let me know, and we will happily give you a full refund. And to compensate you for your time, you can still keep the bonuses, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So bonus number 1 is the Make Your Site Beautiful bonus. I'm going to show you how to customize your Meetup page so that you can brand yourself and stand out so that you have an edge over other Meetup groups. You'll go from this to something that looks more like this, and you can do all of this. I think it took us 11 minutes, all free tools, and you don't have to be a designer to do it by any means. The next one is I'm going to show you a fitness Meetup interview. So this is how Kat made an extra $6,000 and counting in membership dues. She'll walk you exactly through how to do that so that you can do the same thing in your business. And if you're in a fitness company, you're just going to want to copy a lot of the stuff that she did to build her group. She has 2 groups. One of them is around 3,000 members, and the other one I think is at 2,200 right now. The next one is a travel meetup, and I'm going to have an interview with Billy Joe. She's got, I think it's 4,300 members in her group now, and she does charity events inside of her group a lot. So her perfect prospect are people that like to give back, that like to take care of the community, and so she uses charity events so that she can meet a lot of her perfect prospect, and she'll show you how to do the same thing. The next one is a public speaking bonus. And this is where I share with you my experience of going from literally being scared of a 5-person audience. My upline said, hey, go say something inspirational to your 5 people. They all quit later, so I probably wasn't very good. To literally speaking on stage in front of 17,000 people in Miami, where the Miami Heat play basketball. And I'm going to show you how to structure speaking engagements for maximum impact. So whether you want to just be better in front of your group of 5, or whether you are already speaking on huge stages, or if you're preparing because in the future you want to speak on huge stages, we've got you covered. So quick recap, we got 5 modules of Meetup Marketer to take you from zero all the way to profiting and recruiting from your group. We've got the Make Your Meetup Beautiful bonus. We've got the fitness interview, the travel interview, the how Kat made an extra $6,000 and counting last year from one of the 7 ways to profit section. We've got the Be an Awesome Speaker training, and we have a private Facebook group. So if you've got questions, if you're stuck somewhere, if you're wondering, hey, how do I do it for XYZ company, just go in our private Facebook group. There's literally hundreds of people inside of that group, and it's the best place for you to get support and your questions answers. I pop in there and answer questions, pretty regularly, but lots of times our members actually answer questions first, and just a really great community of people in there to make sure that you don't get stuck anywhere. You get a $300 discount by buying right now, 3 payments of $167 USD, or save an additional $104 by making 1 payment of $397. And I know that some of the people on the line here are Canadians like myself, and so hopefully this discount can help cover the exchange cost, because I know that can be expensive sometimes. So save the additional money here by getting started right away, and I'll love to take care of my Canadian friends. So meetupmarketer.com/custom. You've got the 30-day results guarantee. Build your group, and if you don't get the results you want, we will absolutely give you a refund. And the first 10 get a custom review of your group so that you can take all the guesswork out and make sure your group is solid before that email goes out. Fair warning, like I said, I plan to raise the price this week, so it'll be back to $697 this week. So you've watched the entire presentation, you want leverage and you want prospects that treat you with respect, and you know this is an excellent value. So take advantage of the incredible discount, all the bonuses, and the can't lose guarantee right now at meetupmarketer.com/custom. And again, if you go there and you see the wrong price, our system does it automatically. So sometimes it is, we'll make an error there. So just send a message to Zoe if this is your first webinar and you're not seeing the special price. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through some live Q&A. I know there's lots of questions that are inside of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to answer any questions that result that are about the course, what's in it, what you get, what you don't get. We'll go through any of those questions first, because if somebody wants to take advantage of the first 10 and they're held up on something, I want to make sure that I answer their question right away. And then after that, we'll go through any questions about Meetup whatsoever. So any questions about the content, if you have a group and you have a specific question, anything like that. If you're like, hey, I'm in XYZ company, this is the type of group I'm thinking about making, what should I do? Or, I have a group, how do I get more members out? Any specific question you have, I'm happy to go through any of those. So if you asked a question earlier that didn't get answered, you can also pop it in here. The questions box gets flooded a little bit sometimes, so I apologize for that. All right, so Julia says there is a program on Hebrew and Russian. I'm not sure I understand your question. Are you asking if the course content is delivered in Hebrew and Russian, or are you asking, is there other meetup groups that are about Hebrew and Russian? Sorry, Julia, I don't understand quite your question. Paula says, do you accept PayPal? There isn't a PayPal option. We accept all major credit cards. If that's not an option for you, Paula, and just shoot a message to Zoe in the chat box there, and we can reach out to you. Just let if you want, so Paula, if you want to get started, just tell Zoe which payment option you want. If you want the one-time payment or the ongoing payment, and if you want the one-time payment, I think we can do PayPal. So just let Zoe know, and we'll get in contact with you. Freddie says, "Love the guarantee. It shows it's legit." Thank you very much, Freddie. Yeah, the catch to the guarantee, if you want to call it that, is you have to do the work. So it's not, hey, I bought this and then I decided that I wanted to go on a vacation somewhere, so please give me a refund. The guarantee is if you create a group and you don't get like 100 new members that join your group month number one, reach out to us and we're happy to give you a refund. If you really just want to get results and you don't want a refund and you're just like, I want this to work, but it's just not working, then we're happy to work with you instead and give you some feedback on what to do differently. Usually the training is just, it's so step by step by step. Like, it's not a lot of theory and stuff like that. It's me. Like, I already have a couple successful meetup groups, so I could have just said, here's what I did and showed you examples of my existing groups. But instead, when I wanted to create the group, to create the course rather, I found a friend of mine that wanted to create his own group. He's in a different city than me. And I literally helped him create a group from scratch, and I recorded that process. So the questions that I asked him, what we did, how we launched stuff, and that's what's in the course. So you literally, if you have two screens, you can like press pause and like you can watch it on one screen and build your group on the other screen simultaneously by just following all of the clicks. So because of that, there's usually not a lot of support questions. Usually the Facebook group is a bunch of people celebrating wins and supporting each other in like other business ownership ways. But yeah, if you create the group, you follow the training, and you don't get results, for sure reach out to us, and we're happy to help you get results or give you a refund, whatever you'd prefer. So thanks for making that note. And I think it's Freddie, Freide. So if I'm saying it wrong, I really apologize. Julia says, if we're starting at September, do we still have a guarantee and discount? So if you get started before the countdown timer hits 0, which is going to be in a couple days from now, then you'll get the discount. If you get started in September, then there won't be a discount. You do have lifetime access. So if you want to buy the program now and get the discounted price right now, then you can absolutely do that. And then if you want to go through it in September, that's fine. And if that's the option that you want to take, the guarantee is normally 30 days from the time you start. But if you already know that you're going to start in September, then just shoot me a message or shoot Zoe a message and say, yes, I'm in. And if you get started right now, then what we can do, or if you get started before the countdown timer hits 0, then I can just extend the guarantee for you. That is no problem. Freddie says, we'll definitely help to set up the group, have a couple ideas, but more help will be great. That's module number 1, Freddie, is all about preparing. So literally module number 1 walks you through how to come up with an idea for your group, how to test the idea to see if it's even going to work for you. It'll walk you through all of that step by step by step. If at the end of the prepare section you still have some questions, shoot it into the private Facebook group, and you'll get lots of help in there. But yeah, if you don't know what type of group you want yet, that's fine. I didn't have enough time today to go in detail to all of those things, so we spent most of the time on the create section. But I go through a lot of time in the prepare section, so you can know exactly what to do before you create your group. Devin says, we're in, Jimmy. Kyle and I both got started. Awesome. Welcome. Glad to have you. Julie says, does the kickoff email only go to our own list of contacts, or does it go to potentially thousands based on the search topics you entered? Does meetup.com expand the exposure to many more than your own list? Yes, Julie. So it's not your own list. The kickoff email goes to Meetup's database of people. So there's already thousands of people in your city that are on Meetup, and that email is going to go out to all of the people that are in your city that match any one of the topics that you selected. So it's not your list of contacts. That's the whole best part, is you're going to get in front of new people. Dominic says, does this promotion last within the next 24 hours? I can start as soon as tomorrow. Yes, there's a countdown timer for the discounted price. The first 10 bonus of reviewing your group specifically goes to the first 10, so I can't tell you how long that will last. But yeah, if you want to get started tomorrow, Dominic, you can absolutely get the discounted price. So I'm happy to do that for you. Freddie says, yes, I want to see drastic change in how my business grows. I'm ready to binge watch it tonight. Not where I want and need to be. Awesome. So I'll tell you what, if you want something different, like if you want results that are slightly different, then you need to tweak things. If you want results that are dramatically different, you need to change the way you think about how you're doing things. And so in that case, then you want to do something different. And so Meetup is going to be a great thing for you. So really excited to welcome Freddie. I'll make sure that, by the way, if you have already bought, so I know Kyle and Devin told me and Freddie already, if you've already bought, just let me know in the chat box and Zoe's going to write your name down to make sure that you get an email to let you know what to do to get that custom review created for you. So just go ahead and put that in the chat box. Drew says, yes, I'm in, but at September. Okay, cool. So if you want to buy in September, it will be full price. If you want to buy now and not start the program until September, then you can get the discounted price. And so once you've bought, Julia, just send us an email, and I'll send you a confirmation that says just let me know whatever date you're going to start in September, and we'll just make the guarantee 30 days after that. I'm not super picky about the guarantee because it's a results guarantee. So I know that if you do the work, you're going to get the results, and we're going to help you do the results. So I've got no problem extending that for you. So my email is support@jimmyjays.com, JIMMIEJAYES. But you're going to get a welcome email. So as soon as you get started, you'll have within like 30 seconds or a couple minutes, you'll have a welcome email, Julia. And so if you just hit reply to that, then I'll do that for you. All right, so Devin says, so I don't quite understand how to make a product group for a financial education-based company. What should the group be called, and why is it a product group, and what is the premise? So the difference between a product group and a opportunity group, Devin, in the context of MLM, is whether you're going to be leading with a product or whether you're going to be leading with an opportunity. So in your instance, are you talking about affiliates for higher laws, or are you talking about a network marketing company? Okay, so with your events, there's not as much of a difference between a product group and opportunity group. The difference would be if you have a service. So if you're trying to get people to become affiliates, that would be an opportunity style group. So you'd be trying to find people that want to be affiliates to do what you do. If you were looking for people to buy one of your services, and I'm not sure what all those services are these days. It's been a while since I've been to an event, but one of the event types would be like if you wanted to sell tickets to one of your events, or if you wanted to sell, abundance board games, or if you wanted to sell, a service that you had that helped people with improving their credit score, or something like that. All right, a product group is going to be a group where you're going to meet people that would be likely to buy those things from you, to buy board games, to buy tickets to events. An opportunity group would be the type of group that's going to attract people that want to be affiliates. So that would be the difference. That would be the difference between the two in your in your situation. So you would be looking at creating an opportunity group. What you want to do is you want to just think about what's the core desire of the person that you want to attract. So if somebody wants to learn about real estate investing as an example, then what's the action version of real estate investing? So you have to understand the platform, right? People go to Pinterest to learn about crafts. People go to YouTube to watch videos. People go to Meetup to do stuff. So if somebody wants to learn about real estate investing, for instance, what's the action version of real estate investing? Maybe it's getting out, going, in a car or a convoy of cars and driving around the city and being like, here's what I look for when I'm looking for a rental property. That's an action version of something. You're not specifically selling something. You're just literally adding value to people and teaching them something. And then as a result of that, you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to want to buy tickets to your events. They're going to want to, use you as a coach, or they're going to want to become an affiliate and help promote your opportunity. Either way, who plus do. Yep, that's exactly right. Who plus do. So Edmonton single travelers, single people who want to travel. Core desire, financial freedom, and real estate investing. Perfect. So here's what I would do, Devin. Go through module number 1. At the end of module number 1, if there's still something unclear, then just shoot a message into the Facebook group, and I'll help you out inside of there. You are very welcome. If you have a question that didn't get answered, go ahead and let me know. It's kind of buried in here. Julia says, thank you, is great. You're very welcome. Glad to have you. Zoe, let me know if we have anything in the chat box. Zoe, it looks like your son got to the chat box because there's a bunch of random stuff in there. Yeah, amazing. What a cutie. Freddie says, thank you. Love the webinar. Listen, glad to have everybody here inside. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds if you have any questions that weren't answered. Zoe says we're good in the chat box, so let me know. And one of my favorite quotes is that information plus application equals transformation. And if you want a transformation in your business, information is not enough. Some people say knowledge is power, and I respectfully disagree. Knowledge applied is power. Information is not going to change your business. Information plus application or plus action is going to change your business. So if you want a transformation in your business, if you want a different outcome this year than what you had last year, it's important that you get new information and that you apply it. And so whether it is creating a meetup group or whether it is any of the other options that I talked about or shared today about getting out of the grind quadrant, I sincerely hope that you take action on something that you learned here in the next 24 hours. So take any one thing that you learned, take action on it in the next 24 hours, and watch and see how your business starts to grow and how it starts to change. As an employee, which is what a lot of us are used to, we get paid by the hour. And so, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do something. The longer it takes you, the more money that you make. As an entrepreneur, you get paid by results and results only. And so if you want to make more money, if you want to be one of those 6-figure earners that you talked about earlier today, and if you're serious about that top of the mountain goal for you, it's all about getting results. And results just comes down to taking action. And when you take action, either it goes the way that you wanted it to and you grow externally and your business grows and you make money, or it doesn't go the way you wanted it to go and you grow internally, right? You learn a lesson that makes you a better entrepreneur. So when you take action, either way, it's going to move you closer to your goal. If you're one of the people on the fence about the Meetup Marketer program, if it doesn't work out for you, you've got the internal growth and you've got a refund. If it works out for you, you've got external growth. Whether or not you join the course or not, I sincerely hope that you got a lot of value from the webinar today, that it helps you move forward inside of your business. And for those of you that are already started in the Meetup Marketer program, welcome to the program. I'm excited for you, and I look forward to continuing the conversation in our private Facebook group. So unless there's any other questions, that is it for the webinar today. Thanks so much, everybody, for being online with us here, and I look forward to talking to you soon.